racing,
School. TV.
Welcome to the 90s Nerdstalgia Podcast, where we dive into everything 90s and 2000s so you can help relive your glory days. If you love all things 90s video games, if you love movies, pop culture, TV, music, everything, then you've come to the right place. My name is Chris. I am going to be one of your hosts, and this is my buddy Joe.
Hey.
And we have a fun and exciting show for you today. And it is our first show, so bear with us because we're probably going to screw up royally.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But we're just a couple guys that like the 90s. Turns out we like a lot of the early 2000s and the late 90s.
Right.
But Joe and I work together, and we just, all the time when we're at work, we're always talking about anything 90s. So whether it be Super Mario, whether it be our favorite music like the Now albums. I mean, who doesn't love the Now albums?
The Now, that's what I call music.
That's right.
We gotta,
So we're always talking about that stuff. And one day Joe looks at me, he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "what if we just started recording our conversations?" Yep. And turns out we're both nerds, and we thought, what better way to get started with the 90s Nerdstalgia Podcast than just putting it all together and seeing what we come up with. So we hope you don't hate it, and we're not too awkward.
Yeah.
But we've got some fun stuff planned for today.
There's definitely a good amount of the audience right now that are like, do I stick with this or not? Now, I think there's the video listeners and there's the audio listeners. So the video listeners have the advantage of seeing what's going on behind us.
Or it's disadvantage, I'm not sure.
Or disadvantage, exactly. Well, so you said that we were nerds. I think as soon as you turn on this video screen, I think you can clearly see that our poster and our layout here.
And for those who can't see it, we have this sweet poster behind us.
That's right.
It's a Ninja Turtles. I'm a huge Ninja Turtle fan.
Did you see the new movie yet? Or?
I have not seen the new movie yet.
So we're going to be going to watch that movie right after this.
Ooh, yeah. I'm pretty excited about that. But anyways, Ninja Turtle poster behind us, and it says, "Say no to drugs and say yes to pizza." And what?
That's right.
What else says 90s like Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Saying no to drugs and saying yes to pizza.
Yeah, I think every podcast needs to have a message. You know, I know there's some podcasts out there that give like a lot of knowledge and positive messages to audiences. So I think that can kind of be our thing. Hey guys, say no to drugs, say yes to pizza.
I love it.
That's right. Yeah, I listened to a podcast today, and I totally just changed my life.
You thought you were coming here to talk about all things 90s, but turns out we're going to just talk about saying no to drugs and pizza.
We're gonna talk about my lactose intolerance later.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not entirely on board with pizza.
So we made it a whole 4 minutes before that came up, so that's cool. I
wasn't gonna bring it up.
So for those who are interested, and we hope that you all are interested, you can find us in a few different places. Now keep in mind, Joe and I are not professionals by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to these things. So we're going to say for sure we're going to be on YouTube. We've already started a YouTube channel. You can go to at 90s Nerdstalgia Podcast. Right. And we have a Facebook page. Our plan is to also put it on Apple Podcasts. We want to make sure to put it on. We may even start a Patreon. What was the other one you said that we were probably going to be on?
We're going to be on so many things. I've lost.
You're gonna be like the page. You're gonna be like, I want to get rid of these guys, but I promise there's no getting rid of us.
I've lost the page already, but it's gonna be on all of them.
All the podcasts.
Yeah, it's one of the. We're not gonna give up. It's gonna be on all of them. Apple, Google.
That's hilarious. So, Zoom. Without further ado, because I promise there's going to be so much rambling here, and bear with us because I'm going to do my best to cut out all the nonsense.
Yes.
But part of our charm, especially Joe's charm, is just the ability to take off on a random tangent.
Sure. Yeah.
And, I hope you guys like that.
Yeah.
But just beware, we're probably going to land on some really random things, but it's going to all be centered around 90s and early 2000s. So without further ado, today's episode is something near and dear to both of our hearts. So as you guys all know, at least from the initiation of this video, school just got in. So it's August, and school just got in. And Joe and I were talking, and we're like, what better way to start an episode than to talk about our favorite 90s and early 2000s snacks. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and by the way, for people that are not listening in North Carolina, so North Carolina starts school ridiculously early in August. I know a bunch of where I'm from, New Jersey, they don't start until September. So it's extremely hot right now. It's like 98 degrees outside, and all our kids are in school. So
yes. And just so you know, we're just a couple of dudes with kids, and we're like, hey, you know what? Let's get together while our kids are at school and just geek out a little bit so that we can have an outlet.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're both very dad mode.
Yeah.
So anyways, without further ado, we're going to talk through our top 5 after school snacks.
Absolutely. We both have our top 5 that we came up together. He doesn't know what my top 5 are. I don't know what his top 5 snacks are. But before we, you know what? Actually, no, not before we do. We'll do that a little later. I actually have a couple goodies I brought with me. We can eat during the podcast.
I'll tell you what. Let's do our first.
Let's do it
on the top 5, and then we both also decided we were going to introduce some snacks into this so that we could enjoy it while we're talking to you guys. So, who wants to start? You want to start, Joe?
Absolutely. So this first snack is not my favorite. I'm kind of going in descending order. It's number 5, but I think a lot of the audience will very much appreciate the commercials that go along with it. The first snack is 3D Doritos. With the seminal Doritos 3D commercials with, I forgot her name. Do you remember those?
I actually don't remember that. I have vague memories of 3D Doritos, but I'll be honest. What I remember most about 3D Doritos, now they're delicious. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I couldn't differentiate between those and Bugles. Because
Bugles,
right? Yeah, Bugles. So like I guess it's just the texture. Now, granted, the Bugles are their own thing because you can stick them on your fingers, and they were awesome. But I guess because they were kind of exploded out a little bit,
right?
That was the how I associated the two. So I don't have a whole lot of fond memories of 3D Doritos. No, they were delicious, but they didn't hit me quite like they hit you. So. You were. But the commercial. Tell me about the commercial.
So. Well, the commercials, I think, when you watch, I know you don't remember, but as soon as you see, I'm gonna bring up an exact one.
All right.
And we're gonna watch it, and I think this will ignite some memories and other emotions out of you.
Other emotions.
Hold on. Here we go.
Oh yes.
Do you remember this commercial?
I do remember this commercial.
This commercial played.
And for those who can't,
all the time.
So for those who can't see it, it's a beautiful model. What do you remember her name?
I want to say Allie Larder, but Allie Larder is not her. Allie Larder is the girl from Heroes, something like that.
So I'm going to look this up in a second, but I've got to watch this. But it's a beautiful model that just walked into a laundromat.
Yeah.
2 dudes eating 3D Doritos, or eating Doritos, regular Doritos. It looks like, and and she tosses them into the dryer, and dude, so many.
Wait, is that the guy from? He's from a show. This guy, he's from like a sitcom, like a 2000 sitcom.
The one on the left.
On the left, yeah, he's from a thing.
He does look familiar.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Dude, what a great commercial.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like that commercial kind of embodied. That looks like, I think, that was 1999. So we talk 90s, but I think in general, so I was born in 1986. So 1999, I was like 12 or so. Check me on the math. But that's kind of like, right? You're coming back.
You said 96, you were 12?
No, 1999.
Oh, 99. No, that's right.
Yeah.
No, you're 13.
Kind of.
Because you were born in 86, right?
Right.
Okay, 86.
Right.
Okay, regardless.
So, yeah, that's kind of like that time where you're like, you come home from school and you turn on like TRL and like that would literally be the commercial that would be on like every other.
Yeah. All the commercial breaks would have that commercial. And clearly they were like going after a target age range.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're like 12-year-old boy. Here's like a beautiful model and she's putting Doritos into a washing machine and now they're 3D.
And now buy our 3D Doritos.
Oh. Like the N64 just came out. Like, oh, you don't like Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo? Oh, 3D? We'll make our 3D. We're making Doritos 3D. We're like, yeah, I'll eat that. Now, here's the thing. You're right. Bugles, though, put those on your fingers. Yeah. Just walk into school. Like, it's like snack time or lunchtime. There's always that one kid with the Bugles on his fingers.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, I don't know if Doritos are actually on your list, but which Dorito flavor is your favorite?
Oh, shoot.
So
I'd have to. Can I look this up?
Yeah, of course. I will say, as a kid, now granted, these days you've got way more Dorito options. Right. So if I had to choose now, it's for sure 100% the purple bag, the sweet and spicy chili.
Oh.
Definitely my favorite. But as a kid, like I was the original guy, man. Like I wasn't Cool Ranch. I liked the originals. So what about you? Like.
I don't think I had a preference, man. I think it was just kind of like whatever showed up in my lunchbox or whatever was there. But if I was like at a store and I had to like, not close my eyes, but if I saw all the things there and it said, hey, let me pick up a Doritos bag, I just like the color blue. So I guess I'd pick up Cool Ranch. I don't know.
you like legit. Your preferences on your taste were based on the color blue.
Well, it would be Cool Ranch. Yeah,
definitely Cool Ranch.
I don't like a whole ton of.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, like we were the family that was definitely like knockoff Doritos, like the Food Line brand Doritos.
Okay. What did they call
those? I don't even remember, man. But we did a whole lot of like Winn-Dixie shopping and stuff like that. So when we got like the real Doritos, and if you got the snack packs, like the small ones.
Oh yeah,
dude, you were like rolling in the dough.
Absolutely.
Like, and you would take those to school, and you were like the coolest kid in the classroom.
Yep.
But at home, we were for sure eating the knockoff Doritos.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I do the same thing to my kids now. So,
well, like, what are Doritos? It's like fried.
Is it fried? I don't know.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what, like, so is it just a potato chip and they just put a bunch of, like, salt, pepper, and a bunch of other stuff on it?
So it turns out they are nacho cheese flavored tortilla chips. They're corn vegetable.
Oh, tortilla. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So they're just tortilla chips with a bunch of stuff.
I like that we had to look this up.
That's right.
Like they're even shaped like tortilla chips when we started to look them up.
Well, I think as kids, like you don't even question it. You're like, oh, look, it's Doritos.
Oh my gosh!
But you're right. It's a tortilla chip.
It is a tortilla chip that's coated in cheese and goodness. And
well, that was our podcast. Thank you guys for joining.
This is not good, guys. This is the direction we're going to go.
We're just going to talk about it.
Our plan was to make these episodes 30 minutes, but I'm pretty sure we're probably like 15 minutes in.
How far are we into it?
And we've talked about what Doritos are made of. So when I said it was going to be 30 minutes, what I meant it was going to be an hour and 30 minutes. So bear with us here.
I'll be honest. I actually want to eat some Doritos right now.
Yeah, no. All right. So
what's yours?
Doritos 3D. All right. So I went in a totally different direction, and I hope you know what these are.
Okay.
If not, then we'll definitely look them up. But I remember very vividly, and still to this day, like drinks are a huge part of my snacks. Okay. Like when I go into a convenience store, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really. Like I go down the aisles and I'm like, what drinks can I have? Yeah. And a staple of my childhood was Little Hugs barrel fruit drinks. Do you remember these guys? I know exactly
what those are.
So I will say, I could, for the life of me, I could not find a commercial for this. Like I dug and could not find it. Yeah, no, we can look in a second. But I dug and could not find a commercial. And honestly, I look back and I don't remember commercials for fruit barrels. Like, and if like most of this stuff on here are people reacting to them. I just don't. Right? Yeah. So I don't remember any real commercial from them. I think it's one of those things, they just kind of show up in the grocery store and you try. And let's be honest, these fruit drinks, these barrels have zero nutritional value.
Oh, absolutely.
They're water,
nothing. Yeah.
They're sugar, and they're color. And I don't know that they actually have flavors. I could be wrong. But, you'd be like, oh, toss me a blue one. Right. Toss me an orange. Toss me a
and then it has like this like vague, like it's sweet, but like it tastes blue. Like, oh, what does it taste like? Green. It tastes purple.
True. Yeah. So, but dude, we always had one of these, and you have not lived until you have sliced your lips with that foil wrapping that was on top.
Because you would have to use your mouth to almost like tear it open.
So now the question is, were you a peel back, like peel the whole thing off, or were you like a jab your finger into it and like make a hole and suck it out of that?
Interesting you bring that up, Chris. I went to Catholic school. So we had white shirts and a tie. So we had to be very careful with opening these things up. And one of my things on my top 5 list, also something very similar, but I would very carefully open it up from the outside and peel because if you do it too fast, that thing is all over you. Like they were like, did you murder somebody? Because there's like splashes.
Your mom's like, what flavor did you get on you? Red. You got purple on me.
Would it taste like red?
So anyways, yes, little hugs. Yeah. The fruit barrel. Well, they go by plenty of different names, but staple of my childhood. Those went well with all of my after school snacks. I would have a little hug. My mom always kept it. And the funny thing is I feel so bad for my kids because I'm totally, like, my wife and I are totally opposite when it comes to that. We aren't going to feed them the color red and color blue. They're gonna, like, but you look back, like, man, we were getting away with some stuff, dude.
Yeah. When you take a look at this list, I mean, I'm just like, man, how did we survive? Because just the 90s, our kids definitely have foods that we are at least a little more conscious of. In the 90s, it was like, here's some flavored sugar in like different assortments.
But they were delicious, man.
And
with all that sugar, it gets you hyped up. That's right. You like get home from school, you're hitting that crash, and you're like, I'm gonna chug at least one of these fruit barrels.
That's right.
And then usually you go back for another, and you're like jacked after that.
Sitting there, I'm watching Gargoyles. I'm watching Pokemon. We'll talk about that in a different show.
About Gargoyles. There you go. Oh man,
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, listen, I just need this fruit barrel thing. I've taken off my Catholic school shirt. I don't even care.
And no one calls them by their name either. It's like, who do you remember is like, hey, let me get a little hug? Because then you're the dork in school, and you're like,
I think I just called it. Yeah, it was just juice. I don't know.
Let me get a juice.
Calling it juice barrel. Like, because I had seen that. Well, looking at my list, I had seen those, and I didn't know that what they were called until I saw them. And I was like looking at them, like, I remember that, but I didn't know they were called fruit barrels. They're just something. Which is why they don't have a commercial. It's just some guy just like with a big vat of water and just pouring a bunch of stuff in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's my number 5 snack.
Okay.
And we got Joe's number 5 snack. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll pop on a cool commercial from the 90s, and then you and I will go grab our first snack for each other so we can start chowing down and enjoying it. So take a look at this commercial, and we'll be right back.
If I had my way, I'd change my hair. Or to give a kid's meal the way I like it, with no pickles. Sure. Yeah. Now at Burger King, you can collect Save the Animal cards. You can save mammals, fish, birds, and reptiles and amphibians. There's 17 cards in 4 albums, one with every kid's meal. You can save them in albums. Or trade them with friends. You'll get right way at Burger King.
All right, welcome back. That was
what an awesome commercial. It's just life-changing.
So, and part of this is we're going to throw some commercials in there. We're going to I would love to like bring some old like, TRL episodes or anything that we can go to. Granted, I don't want to get flagged by YouTube because we know that will happen. So, anyways, sweet commercial. Now we have our snacks, and I'm going to let you go first because I feel like you're pretty excited about it. Let's see what you got.
I am pretty excited about it.
And keep in mind, we did not collaborate on this at all.
Right.
I just looked at him while we watched the commercial and was like, hey, what did you bring? Like, because I have this, and this, not specifically what it was, but I have a drink, I have a snack, and then I have a food. And Joe says,
I have a food and I have a drink. And here's my biggest fear, because we brought this up at work. What if we bring the same thing?
So for those who don't know us, I have a saying that Joe and I are essentially the same person, except
in different colored bodies.
Different colored bodies. And Joe made way better decisions than I made in life.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what you got?
Yeah. All right. So I think I am going to start with what is a different box than we knew as kids.
Oh, Cookie Crisp.
This is Cookie Crisp cereal. I think this was my favorite cereal as a kid. I don't know what's going on with this wolf guy on it. It's a wolf now. It used to be.
I'm gonna have to pull up the old.
Well, we're gonna watch the commercial in a little bit, and I think it was a dog or like a bandit or something. Anyways, these are awesome. But here's the thing: super not good for you. So, would you ever give your kids a bunch of cookies for breakfast? Probably not. That's what they did to us in the 90s. They said, here.
It was a dog. Look at that.
That's right. Let's give your kids, let's make the cookies really small and crispy and put it into cereal. And so
I feel like back in the 90s, they could pretty much like make anything a cereal.
Right.
Like if you tag cereal on it, and keep in mind, they would also throw some stuff on there and be like, hey, this is heart healthy because because it's a cereal.
Does it? I wonder if it says that on here. Heart healthy cereal.
I'm sure. I would guarantee that somewhere on there.
Yeah.
But you're 100% right.
It's got whole grains.
It was definitely not a wolf back with us. They've obviously upped their packaging game a little bit. What's it taste like?
It's got vitamin D. It actually tastes very similar.
Let me get a cookie. Let me get a cookie.
Here,
we got bowls?
A whole bowl.
Oh, we're going bowls.
Yeah.
Let's not break everything while you're here.
That's right. All right. And for the studio audience in the back, we'll distribute it out to all of you. I know there's
get one. You get one.
It's all 50 you guys up there. We'll get you some food. Just try to keep it down. So if you'd like, and I brought some milk. Here's the thing.
So wait a second before you say this, because I know what you're going to say. So have you always had to drink? What are we drinking? Are we drinking? This is oat milk. Which, truth be told, actually, I'm not lactose intolerant because I'm normal. But sorry for all those that aren't. But I actually enjoy the taste of oat milk.
Me too.
Was this a thing? Have you always?
No, I could drink milk. It's just it upsets my belly.
So we also didn't plan for this ahead of time.
Yeah.
So I want you to keep that in mind. Anyways, little Cookie Crisp.
We're gonna. I'm gonna give you some.
Give me some of your oat milk.
Hey, listen. If you out there are lactose intolerant and you're looking for a podcast where you feel underrepresented, this is the podcast for you. So welcome to my lactose intolerant audience.
We don't tolerate intolerance here. And I'm sorry if I'm sorry that I offended.
That works on so many levels. That's amazing.
Sorry that I offended anyone with my.
That works on so many levels.
You're a nerd. Just look at the color of this guy, man.
Wait, but we do tolerate it. It doesn't even look like it tastes good. It tastes good. Do you want any more?
No, that's good.
So some podcasts, they're drinking beer, they're eating wings. We are eating Cookie Crisp cereal and talking about.
So I gotta say, when I eat cereal, one of my things I like about cereal is I like how. And I'm weird, man. I'll let my stuff sit for a while because I want the cereal to soak up all the milk.
Okay.
So, let's see. Are we getting a good soaking? So it's pretty because most people, I would say, probably like crispy.
Right.
Like they like their
right.
You're eating a cookie
right
for breakfast.
And just for the audio listeners, let's give you the full experience since you can't see what's going on.
What's it called? What is it?
ASMR.
Hey,
It's ASMR.
ASMR.
So you're listening to me eating a bunch of cereal.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna go with
Worst podcast.
So I'm gonna say this is delicious.
Delicious.
I don't remember eating Cookie Crisp. Obviously, I saw the commercials. I wanted them, but I don't remember eating Cookie Crisp.
Really?
As we discussed earlier, we were an off-brand family. Occasionally, we got the good stuff.
Wow.
Let me back up. We got the good stuff more often than not, but
Sure.
we were a lot of off-brand. What do you think they would call the off-brand cookie? Because like Frosted Flakes would be like flakes that are frosty or something like that.
like Cookie Crunch or something like that. I guarantee it's something like that.
Yeah. And this, I bet you, like the dog that was originally for Cookie Crisp.
Right.
This is the wolf from the off-brand of Cookie Crisp, and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's move him over.
Why did they change his character though? Look, if and audio listeners, I'm looking at the box. It's a wolf now. But clearly he's in the same like cinematic universe as the Trix
Bunny.
guy.
What else? This is
the Cocoa. This is the same, right? This Cocoa Puffs. This Cocoa Puffs bird flamingo.
I don't know. I don't even know
whatever bird guy that is. Anyway, so I guess they team up in like a Avengers team up movie at some point. I don't know.
We should start that.
We should start. He's just talking about
Cookie Crisp Avenger.
The serial cinematic universe.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm excited.
What are we rating as top 10? Or out of all your cereals, would you put this in your like top 10 or no?
I honestly would make this like number like 1 or 2.
Yeah. Okay.
This was actually my number 1 for like food in general from the 90s, but since we were bringing this stuff
I don't want to ruin future episodes because there's no doubt we're probably going to hit a best cereal. Shameless plug here.
Can I just tell you what it is now or no?
No.
You don't want to hear it?
No, let's save it. Okay. So, yeah. You know, I was a generic I love Lucky Charms, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I didn't have wild. This was my crazy cereal. Now that I'm 37, or I'm 36, getting ready to turn 37, I enjoy Frosted Mini Wheats, man.
No, that's super old.
Yeah, or even better, I like I like Chex cereal, like no frosting, no sugar, nothing. I just like Chex cereal. So
I think sometimes people are like, "Hey, who's the cool host?" I guess I'm the cool host.
I'm going to answer that. There's absolutely none. Neither one of us are the cool host.
That's right. It's like
so. If you're wondering,
you're like the normal guy, and I'm the guy that.
Where do you even go with that? Yeah. So if you're wondering how the two of us got together, like pretty much we're like, hey, you don't have any friends. That's right. I don't have any friends.
Hurts.
Let's be friends.
Just become best friends. Yep.
That hurts.
And there's someone for everyone. So that's how we got together.
I feel like that was meant as like a warm-hearted compliment, but yeah.
All right. So I'm going to give you So I said that he's lactose intolerant. I didn't know that.
I'll drink it. I don't care.
I don't want you pooping all over the place.
Hey, it's...
So there's something special. So
I love these.
Let's be honest.
Like these.
There's nothing better than a Yoo-hoo in a glass bottle. You turn the glass bottle over, you tap the back of it, it makes that sweet sound.
In a glass bottle? I don't think I've had them in a glass bottle.
Really? So, but as a kid, this is twofold. So obviously, I love a Yoo-hoo. Again, there's zero nutritional value to this. It's sugar and
what are you talking about? They don't rich in calcium and vitamin C.
Remember, this is not chocolate milk, and that's why I guess I thought I would get by with this now that I know he's lactose intolerant. But there is whey from milk. Forgive my ignorance here, but I'm not exactly sure what makes you lactose intolerant. But what makes these special is, and you know this as a kid, you got this in a juice box.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing more special than a drink in a juice box, and a Yoo-hoo in a juice box for that.
But that's why, like, I know they were in glass bottles, but I don't actually remember me getting them in glass bottles.
Did you drink them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in these, and like in the actual juice boxes.
So, I bet you I should have shook this. Did you shake yours?
I shook mine. Well, kind of. Video watchers, you saw.
Let's go back to the
Are you going to be able to edit like a flashback? And,
yeah. Oh,
I kind of. Ooh. Yeah. See, first casualty of the podcast.
So, I don't know if you know this, but I didn't know this as a kid. I guess this was a newer thing. Yeah. Do your kids like? Have you seen this? For little kids, grabbing the ears.
What are you doing?
So for little kids. So dad tips here too. This is not just fun.
What are you doing?
So as a kid, you grab the ears. You got a 3-year-old and they're like squishing it and squirting all over the place. You flip the ears up.
What is going on? No, this is how I did, and I've always done it because I was a genius kid, and I still am. So you take the corners of it and you hold it by the corners so that. Because if you hold it here, then it squeezes out.
See, I guess we were very smart kids. So we like actually. So those who are listening only, the sides that fold down, you can fold them up, and your small kids can grab onto it, and bingo, they don't spill it all over the place.
I feel like by me doing, I guess we do that.
You would do it first. You do it first. Yeah. So you're past it. And not to mention, look at the cool wings, man.
Wow. And that's not why they made that, right? This isn't a thing where I just didn't know what I was doing.
I think it's because it's a box and you just have to fold it.
Hey, side tangent. When you were in school and then you got like milk from, just like the lunches that you got there, do you remember the milk cartons? Where you had to open it and those were like a little...
So do you remember... That's a battle. I'm sorry, guys. This is going to happen. But do you remember the magic trick?
What?
So with the milk carton, if you open it all the way up, So open both sides, open it up, and then you
vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Fold it back down, and you got a little bit of milk in there. You fold it inside of itself, and you turn it upside down, and the milk goes in the rim of the. Right? Do you remember this?
Okay, no, I don't remember that. And now on the way, well, not home. I'm going to work after this, but on the way to work, I'm going to pick up some milk cartons. Where would I find milk cartons?
I don't know. So. Anyways, you were the coolest kid. You could hit a magic trick. That and the soda can on its side when it's half full and it sits up. Those were like my go-tos. I was like, this is it. I'm the coolest kid in class.
People at work are going to be like, what are you doing today? I'm just going to be sitting there just like doing stuff with, don't look at me.
So, Yoo-hoo.
Okay.
One of my favorite drinks, obviously. Okay. Cookie Crisp. Couldn't be better. Now my oat milk is slightly warm, so it's not.
I'm sorry. You have milk, like regular milk, or you can put the Yoo-hoo in there.
But this is a chocolate drink and not milk. So while we're eating, why don't I start with my number 4? This is going to be a little bit controversial, because I toyed so hard with moving it up the list, and I would venture to say you probably have it on your list. Okay. It's an oldie, it's a goldie, it's still around, and I'm talking about Gushers.
Yes, I knew that was going to be on one of our lists.
Yeah. So I almost didn't do it. Probably for the same reason you didn't put it on yours, and that's because I knew you would have it on there.
Right.
So, and I would assume that 95% of our listening base knows what Gushers is.
Yeah, and kids still eat it.
Yeah. So otherwise you wouldn't be here. But for those who don't know, Gushers are a little fruit snack, and they have a goo/gel on the inside, and it's like an explosion in your mouth, for lack of a better term. You bite into it, you get the goo/gel, and dude, like I remember just every beach trip, every lake trip, every trip in general, Gushers. Yep. You had Gushers. You had those fruit snacks. So if you watch the promo, Gushers are near and dear to my heart.
You know what Gushers kind of tastes like? You ever have Swedish fish?
Okay.
It's almost like whatever consistency.
I was going to say, it's got to be the texture.
Yeah, like the texture, but then it's like as if the Swedish fish were different flavored, and then they have like, I don't know, like amorphous, like jelly inside of it. It just it actually kind of tastes.
I appreciate the way you had to explain that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's got to be listeners out there who are like, listen, I've never eaten Gushers.
Yeah.
I eat loaves of bread and and milk cartons every day. I don't know what you're talking about. So we have to explain to these people. They're like, hey, listen, I'm going to try out Gushers today.
Yeah.
I gotta let you know, they taste a lot like plastic.
No way.
Yeah,
no
dude, they
way.
just taste like plastic.
All right, fine. I don't think that's
But
true.
it's still good.
And maybe I should have gotten some because it's been a while since I had Gushers.
Yeah.
And I'm finding, as Joe and I have gone on this trip down this nostalgic, all this nostalgia, is I'm finding that some of the things that I thought was the best thing when I was a kid, I just don't love it anymore. And it makes me really sad.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting as we're doing this. In fact, I know for a fact my final snack that we're going to put between us is going to be gross. So,
Great.
or not what we remember.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, Yoo-hoo, or not Yoo-hoo, I'm sorry, excuse me. What did I say? Gushers.
Well, there's something about that where, just real quick, my kids told me one time, like, hey, Dad, we never see you eating candy or like sweet things. And like, it's not that I'm trying not to eat them. I just like, I don't know, like, because I guess it's a scarcity thing. Like kids, they're not allowed to have it, so that's why they want it.
Whoopsie. Sorry.
But if I were to have a bunch of candy in front of me all day, I don't think I'd eat it.
So I remember this commercial, and I think you're going to remember it too. It was probably the one, again, that would always come on. Maybe not TRL, but probably Nickelodeon. It's the 1995 Fruitomic Punch Gushers commercials. Check it out.
I remember this one.
Okay, so
I remember that kid.
Yeah, so for those who can't see it, it's essentially just a bunch of kids, and they're eating their Fruitomic Punch Gushers, and they are changing into the fruit that they're eating. So, staple of childhood. For a 1995 commercial, like going back through some of these commercials, this one looks really good.
Right. Like I feel like in the 90s there was that like sort of weird hue where like everything looked really like grainy, and it was like only the 90s because like the 80s didn't have that, and for whatever reason, like you'll always know a video from exactly the 90s era, but that didn't have it. That was like HD. I don't know what's going on there.
Not bad.
Maybe it's somebody remastered it.
So Gushers, that was my number 4. All right, so tell me about your number 4.
All right, let's do number 4. This one, you probably don't know this one too well, but all right, maybe you do. Planters PB Crisps. Tell you what.
I don't remember.
As we're talking about it, I'm going to bring up the commercial, and maybe that might jog your memory. So here's the thing. This is like one of those where I know I had it a lot when I was a kid, but it wasn't super popular. So, but this is definitely the one that I remember always having, and definitely was not anything. Let's see. Ready?
Yeah.
You ready for it? I'm gonna blow your mind. HD 4K James Cameron Avatar quality.
With a nut and a bolt that shook his top hat with a jolt. PB Crisp, an idea for a munch.
Audio listeners, I don't even have to describe it. You can just listen to this awesome
inside the center so sweet. Peanut butter
song.
cream. Oh, a treat. A taste so
Do you remember this?
grand.
This commercial?
To fit in the palm of your hand.
It's like early 90s.
PB Crisp, PB
So,
Crisp. Peanut butter cream is the name of the
vaguely
cream.
remember this. I'm not sure I've
PB
eaten
Crisp.
them.
The sweet
Like there's
taste
something
is
about
just
the
a
video
pain.
quality here that
PB
feels
Crisp
like
and
just
new
very
chocolate
nostalgic.
yes,
Like
chocolate crisps
I'm
from Planters.
watching this in the early 90s on Nickelodeon.
So I will say, I don't remember eating those, but now that would be my jam. Like,
What, the song would be your jam?
yeah, this song is definitely my jam.
He's just gonna be driving down the road listening to that song. Oh, it's a PB Crisp. There's somebody on the street like,
No. So usually now, when I think of a snack, any snack that I ever get, I think, is this a good vehicle for peanut butter? And what better vehicle for peanut butter than more peanut butter? So
yeah.
So yeah,
that's
no, I don't remember that. And maybe that's just because I don't know. We just never got those. But I'm even having trouble
good.
remember the commercial.
Yeah, really good. No, that was one where I'm like, maybe this might not line up. Like the other ones I know that you've seen. This one was like a niche one where I remember I liked having it. I told my parents I wanted that for school. I remember there wasn't a lot of other kids who had that, but it was awesome and I loved it. So
there you go. I'm not knocking it. It looks delicious. Yeah. I just don't remember it. So,
it sounds like we need to bring in some. I don't think they have many.
Are we sponsored by Planters? Because
Planters.
if you're watching this, we need some PB Crisp.
The peanut butter Peanut butter is.
They're gonna be like, if you sing that song flawlessly, you can have some peanut butter.
Oh no.
So number three. Actually, I'll let you do number 3 because we'll go back and forth like that. So
sure,
have at it.
Number 3. Fruit strength thing. Ooh, messed that up. Fruit strength thing. Man, I
fruit strength too. Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, I was going to interrupt you.
Well, I was going to say I had to decide between fruit by the foot, fruit roll up, and then I was like, yeah, those are kind of the standard ones. But I was like, what about this fruit string thing? And I remember having it.
I remember like these being advertised very specifically as like not. And it was sort of like fruit snacks too. They weren't advertised as like candy or like they almost had, not that they were saying they were healthy, but they almost had a health value to them, some nutritional value, like almost like cereal. Mm-hmm. They were advertised in that direction. Fruit, right? And man, they were good though. Because remember they were all like shaped all funny on and like swirls and all kinds of stuff.
And we know that in the factory, it was just getting like churned out by a machine and just like cut off and just put into like little strips of paper.
Right. And probably, if we're being honest, we probably still have fruit string living in our gut today that never got fully processed.
Gastroenterologists out there, how much fruit string thing have you seen in people's intestines over the years? I'm sure it never gets digested ever. So I'm going to show you this fruit string thing commercial.
All right.
I don't remember this commercial as much as I remember the actual thing, though. So.
All right, let's see.
Kids used to like fruit string thing, but now they're wild about it. That's because we took the string and out of the
okay, I remember that shape. Yeah, dude,
and this kid, yeah.
These were great, man.
It's so much better, kids just can't stop thinking about it.
String thing.
Fruit string thing fruit snack with 2 fruity pieces.
Two fruity pieces.
And now you can catch fruit string
so yeah.
in sport shapes.
I really don't think people are like, they don't make commercials like this anymore.
No, that's funny you say that because I was getting ready to say like, and granted my kids, I guess we don't watch enough like TV like that. Right. They're not like this. No.
Like these were like, I think when people think back to the 90s, at first you're like, oh yeah, the movies, the music, and like video games and stuff. But really, I think what is the bigger anchor for nostalgia is actually just like watching old 90s commercials, because you watched it every day and they were always playing there. And nowadays, like if kids go to school, they might not all be watching the same movies or shows because there's no cable, so they watch different things or play different things. But like when we were kids, even if you're watching different channels, every kid that was our age, because I'm 36, he's 36, we all watched the same commercials. Not PB Crisps, obviously, but somehow. But yeah.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah. Like our kids don't have the benefit of like that togetherness because there's Netflix and Disney Plus and all those different things, and they're all going in their own directions. Like, like one Saturday morning, like we all watched that. And these advertisers knew exactly what they were doing, targeting. And dude, the commercials were
like, oh yeah, I want fruit string thing. I want to be rich.
Disclaimer here: I'm not watching a lot of commercials these days. So it may be awesome, and we just don't know. But
I mean, there's like YouTube ads, we can always like opt out of them, and I just think that in 30 years, if there was going to be whatever, if podcasts still exist then, but in like 30 years, if kids are like, hey, let's do some nostalgia about the early 2020s. I think every kid would have a completely different experience.
Yeah.
They don't have this. Like every kid, I guarantee you 90% of the audience who's around our age remembers a little bit about this commercial.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't thought about that, but just think about like this same show in like the 2020s Nerdstalgia Podcast.
Right.
Like there's not going to be 2 dudes like us that could remember it and then have an entire audience that could remember the exact same thing.
Yeah,
so you're exactly right.
Flying through space and just, shooting lasers at each other.
God.
I don't know what's going to go on in 30 years.
So, yeah, I do remember fruit strings. Love them. And I feel like you poo-pooed on my number 3.
What?
He didn't even know, but my number 3 was, and mine's it's fruit roll-ups and fruit by the foot.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
No.
Oops.
So we obviously were on the same page.
Yeah.
That is a little more obscure, but definitely,
Right.
You know, the fruit strings are definitely what I remember,
Right.
but a little bit more obscure, and probably because they're not around anymore.
Right.
But fruit roll-up,
Right.
Fruit by the foot.
Fruit by the foot would be like the McDonald's, and then fruit roll up is like the Wendy's, and fruit string thing is like it's like that.
Where are you gonna go with this one?
It's like the Arby's, man.
Oh, Arby's.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a very niche thing.
It's very niche.
Sorry,
Okay.
Arby's.
No. So yeah, we're not sponsored by Arby's.
Sponsor us, Arby's.
So fruit by the foot. My question to you is, how did you eat your fruit by the foot?
And we're talking. Wait.
Fruit by the foot was the one that was rolled up.
I see.
Like it's fruit by the foot. It's
Gotcha.
It's not the
Yeah.
square one that you.
Yeah, I'll tell you
unroll.
exactly how I do it.
right.
So if it was all rolled up, right? It's all rolled up here. Audio listeners, you can hear a lot of crinkling, but it's kind of rolled up like tape. And then you would separate the paper from that, put that in your mouth, and then like as you're eating it, just kind of unroll it.
Yeah.
Right?
You're exactly right.
Cool.
I don't think
any other way is illegal.
Right. I don't know anybody who didn't eat it that way. So maybe it begs the question: is there any other way to eat it? I guess not.
No, I've seen, and these kids are probably, now that they're grown up, they're probably in jail or something. But
Right.
what they would do is they would unroll the whole thing, peel the whole thing off, and then roll it around their finger. Yeah, you see those kids?
Okay.
Psychopaths.
I take that back, man. I may be a psychopath then. I also remember taking it all the way out, then rolling it back up into the thing and just throwing the whole thing in my mouth.
No. No.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm the psychopath. But fruit. That was fruit by the foot. So fruit roll up. I didn't. Whatever. And the reason I put this on there, I remember very vividly, and maybe this was just me. I could be totally wrong. But did your parents ever try to trick you with fruit leather? Like this is the healthy stuff. Like we're talking made with real fruit. Like my kids love them now, but I think my mom tried to trick me with fruit leather, and I'm like, no, this is not it. It doesn't tattoo my tongue, because you remember the fruit roll-ups had you put the tattoo on your tongue.
Right.
So
no, I had some kind of knockoff fruit roll-up, but it wasn't called fruit leather. It was called. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it now. I don't know what to call them back then, but they definitely tried to trick me with that. But
interesting.
I was that kid that was like, no, I don't want to eat that. I want the real thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because then you get to school and you're like, it's stupid fruit leather. And,
Yeah. Well, and the cool thing
where's
about
your tattoo?
Right. The cool thing about fruit roll up is I remember there being some really sweet commercials, and they had some pretty good like affiliations. Like I think they did like a Nickelodeon thing. Let me pull this up, but yes. Okay. All right. So this. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do. I do
I
actually.
mean, dude, look at all of these characters. So we got Ren and Stimpy, we got Doug, we got Rocco from Rocco's Modern Life.
right.
I think I don't remember the guy with the eyeballs in his hand, but from Ah Real Monsters.
Scrum or Crumb or something.
So these didn't tattoo your tongue, but you could peel out the shapes and eat them.
Yeah.
So those were fun in that manner. Like
Okay.
I guess it wasn't so much like, I mean, I feel like they're essentially the same snack.
Right.
But you had one that you could
One is the
eat
brand.
eat it a certain way,
Right,
and the other one
right.
you had to like peel out all the little things. And I'm telling you, maybe this was later on in life. They made ones that when you put on your tongue, it would tattoo your tongue. So
I don't remember
may have
that.
to check that,
That would
but
have freaked me out.
perhaps I'm making that up. But
Yeah, it's like how you.
I feel like that's the case. I feel like I remember seeing that at some point.
It's like how you enter Fight Club and just like, let me see your tattoo on your tongue. And
But perhaps. So since you did, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's enter. Did you have 3 snacks or 2 snacks?
I just had 2.
Okay.
And one of them's a drink. One of them is a drink.
All right. So okay. I thought you said you had something you had to warm up.
I did. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you a little bit something about me. That's in my freezer at home right now.
Perfect. All right. So, Joe did not bring 3 snacks like I did. So I am going to introduce a snack. What
I just got.
Yeah, right.
I just got one up.
I'm going to introduce a snack in here, and maybe this was just me, but I'm talking cosmic brownies. Yeah, cosmic brownies.
Yeah,
Little Debbie's. Who doesn't remember these?
There's no clean way to eat this unless I try to keep it in the.
So. And I think one of the things I loved about cosmic brownies, now I have not eaten this since I was a kid. I just don't get them. But I think one of the things I loved about them is they look like a domino.
Yeah.
And there's 2 squares.
But yeah, it's not. They're not trying to actually make a domino with a.
No. I think it's just the way it's made. But I love the shape of it, the colors, and the fact that they're just called cosmic brownies. I mean, who doesn't love it?
Like you could like picture the box in your head. Audio listeners. It's a brownie. It's got
okay.
It's got sprinkles on them. It looks like a domino. I'm gonna eat it too.
Yeah, very very, bright colors, green, orange, blue. But again, sort of like my Gushers take, these brownies were always in our snack bags when we went on trips. I don't know what it is, and because there's tons of Little Debbie's I remember from it as a kid. What was the crunch? Star Crunch. I remember Star Crunch. That was a huge one.
And
in
they
our
had
house.
the cakes, the little brownie cake.
Yep. Right. So I mean, I guess I could have just said Little Debbie in general, but cosmic brownies hold a special place in my heart. They do still taste good.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's not anything to write home about, but
it's like a solid brownie.
I will say. Perfect vehicle for peanut butter.
Nice. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that would like require like it's like mandatory. Like there needs to be like a Surgeon General health warning on the box. Like if you're gonna put peanut butter on this, please have some water nearby. Like you will die. This will not go down your throat.
I know. Even while I'm chewing this up now, like I feel incredibly parched. I wish I had brought like.
Oh, don't you have water?
Oh yeah, I got water, but I wish I had brought another Yoo-hoo because it's Yoo-hoo.
That is
so
brownies and peanut butter, man.
Yeah, man,
they were brave. That's.
I kind of feel like you don't eat them any other way. So, cosmic brownies, they were delicious. We're going to enjoy those while we talk about my number 2.
Did you have a cosmic brownie commercial that you had or no?
No. This was just one of my snacks for the 2 of us.
Okay.
I'm sure we could probably find one. We'll have to look that up later. Sure. We'll add it in if we find it.
Yep.
But my number 2 is Dunkaroos. Right?
Yes. That was just like the fruit roll-ups one where I was like, he's probably gonna have this in his list. It's like one of those like it's definitely on there, but yeah, definitely.
I guess I went more relatable, and you went with Planters PB Crisp.
I was like, these are just the good ones. Yeah.
He's like, what did everybody not know about or didn't eat, and that's what I'm gonna pick.
Well, it was like kind of one of those games where I was like, I know he's gonna do this, so I'm gonna like to not have the same exact list.
All right. Yeah. So yes, Dunkaroos,
100%.
I feel like that is a given. Like you can't not.
That's the 90s.
Yeah, like and they're still around. Granted, I did try one. We keep some on our snack cart at work, and it doesn't hit the same, man. It does not hit the same.
Agreed.
But for those who don't know what Dunkaroos are, essentially it's like a graham cracker shaped in a. Is it a kangaroo? I think it's shaped like that. I don't know.
I know the cartoon is a kangaroo. I don't know if it's actual.
So it's shaped. I think it's shaped like a kangaroo, but you have like a vanilla or a chocolate frosting. You dunk them in there. It comes a little. I think part of the thing that makes them so dang good is the case that the packaging. You rip them off and you got 2 little separate compartments for each one of them. Yeah. It's kind of like those remember the cheese crackers? Like you had a cracker. Yeah. And they had another compartment with the cheese, and it come with a little red stick, and you could spread it on there.
Oh, whoa! I should have put that on my list. What were those called?
Yeah, I have a clue.
Yeah, because you felt like you were like I'm an adult. I'm
a culinary genius here. This is practically making a meal.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go play with us? Like, listen, sir, I am spreading my cheese on these crackers. What were those called?
I don't know. Anybody who knows what they're called.
Studio audience, if you want to chime in. Yeah.
Throw it down in the comments because I have no idea. But those were delicious. Look, we went off on a tangent. Dunkaroos, vanilla, chocolate, graham cracker. 3 things as a kid you'd love. Again, no nutritional value, but man, you know you were coming home from school and grabbing up some Dunkaroos and taking it to the face.
Yeah. Have we even presented anything with nutritional value yet?
No. Maybe there's a running theme here.
Yeah.
Either A, we just weren't eating very nutritional,
Right.
or B, nothing in the 90s was made nutritionally.
I guess maybe the Yoo-hoo had stuff in it that like you could probably survive if it was like if it was the apocalypse and all you had left is Yoo-hoos. I guess you'd survive for a little while. The rest of the stuff, it's like you're probably not going to make it past
Perhaps.
a few days.
So yeah, that's my number 2.
That's a great one.
Yeah. So and I'm sure there's tons of commercials. We'll have to take a peek on that later. But what's your number 2?
My number 2 is actually what I brought with me today.
Ooh.
So wait. So by the way, I already did my number 1, which was Cookie Crisp. So this is actually my last one.
Oh. Okay. All right. Sounds good.
You're gonna love this. And we were just talking a little bit before about being very careful about not getting stuff on our clothes when we pull it out.
Yeah.
These are Kool-Aid Bursts.
Kool-Aid Burst.
And and for the video listeners or watchers, you're gonna see this. Okay, see this top? This was just a very nostalgic part of our.
Just imagine because it's not going to focus.
Hey, Chris, is this going to be in 3D? Because if this video was in 3D, this is the part where I reach out. Oh my god! So, anyways, you remember how this one goes?
Yes. So my question to you is, what is this? What is this supposed to be? Because it's funny, we brought this up at work the other day, me and someone else. Yeah. What exactly is this? Because they were like, oh, it's an eagle. But I don't think it's an eagle.
I thought it was like a crab or something. Okay, right? And then after you took it off, you would put it in your mouth.
Of course, you got fangs.
All the time, man.
Audio listeners, you're just gonna have to look up Kool-Aid. What is it? Yeah. Kool-Aid Bursts. You'll have to look this up. But
anyone who's driving right now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to find the nearest exit, nearest side street. I need you to stop your car, leave the air conditioning on, and I want you to Google Kool-Aid Bursts. Okay, I want you to be safe.
Do it now. So it kind of looks like an something Egyptian, like a crown. I don't know.
Yeah, like a headdress,
But yeah, these were great. So and there was plenty of different varieties of these. I remember what was it, Mondo,
yeah.
And there was another one like
Squeeze-Its.
Squeeze-Its, yeah, Squeeze-Its.
But this was the one because I actually this was brought up the other day too. Like I was specifically looking for we brought this up like months ago.
Yeah.
And we were looking, I was like, no, it's this one. I remember the cap. Like I found it.
Yeah. I feel like we were more Mondo people at my house.
Really?
Because I'm pretty sure they had a pretty specific cap as well.
You guys are monsters.
But not that you know what though? Kool-Aid Burst, they have survived the test of time.
Really? Yeah. I was surprised that they still had these. I haven't seen any kids, right? Like you would walk around, you walk around the ShopRites and, go out to the malls in the 90s and kids would have these in their mouths.
Yeah. So there you go. See the difference? So they definitely had a cap thing going on, but the Kool-Aid Burst cap was much cooler.
Right.
But
these were easy to just twist off. Mondo looks like you need to do a little bit of work there.
I'm quite certain there's no work required.
Not for me.
I'm actually really happy that you brought this because I am dying of thirst.
Well, I was like, right after this, as the
all you brought was oat milk, but whatever. Yeah, no, this is.
But these were easy to just. Mondo looks like.
This is exactly what I remember. It's so for those who can't see, Joe brought the purple flavor, which according to Kool-Aid is grape. So it's exactly what I remember. There's a very faint grape taste to it, but it can only be described in one way, and that's purple.
That's right.
Oh snap!
All right. And then, or you can walk around and doing this. Or you can do this.
Yeah, that's a lot harder on her.
And you were the coolest kid in class. You just go, hey.
Kool-Aid Burst, man.
Okay, the other kid would be like, "Oh my god, that's super funny. You're like super cool," and join the popular kids. No,
Do your kids? So my kids aren't allowed to bring stuff like this to school now. Like I'm pretty sure they have to have like water or.
I have no idea. No, yeah, my kid brings like a water. I mean, my oldest is in 2nd grade, so I don't know.
Buddy, we were sucking these down in kindergarten. I mean, we were, you got in your lunchbox, you got a Kool-Aid burst. You got the snack pack of Doritos,
right.
And you got, at least for me, I would have like a plain ham and cheese, no mayonnaise, no nothing, and that would be it on that sandwich. And life was good, man. And old Gushers.
That's very close to what I would have. Probably for lunch, I'd have like a tuna sandwich or something like that. I don't know. What does your lunchbox smell like?
Yeah, right.
Listen, you just told me I was cool because I put the Kool-Aid cap in my mouth.
You had tuna sandwiches. Oh gosh. Okay.
I love tuna. Welcome to this podcast. We're going to start talking about why tuna sandwiches are awesome. You don't like tuna sandwiches?
I don't eat seafood. I'm sorry. I don't. Especially not tuna. I don't know. Maybe I should go back and try it again.
Join me in my spin-off podcast when I talk about the best seafood that you can bring to school with you.
And that would be no seafood.
You just be gone.
Yeah, no, Kool-Aid Burst, man.
Yeah.
What was your favorite flavor?
This.
Yeah, great.
Great.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe blue. And which brings me to the question.
What is blue?
What is blue? So, funny story. And maybe you've seen it because Joe and I have very similar interests.
Sure.
And we've learned that our YouTube
Seafood.
algorithm actually throws the same things at each other.
Yeah. Except seafood.
Except tuna. So, I see a really cool YouTube video on blue raspberry because that's obviously the flavor of it. What blue is blue raspberry, and obviously there's no such thing as a blue raspberry.
I was trying to play it cool. I was like, yeah, blue raspberry. I was like,
there's no blue raspberry. Okay. It's just raspberry, and then there's blue.
That was me going along with the crowd. And I was like, oh yeah, blue raspberries. I love those. Why don't they just make it blueberry? Just say, hey, it's blueberry flavor.
And this was brought up in the video. I think blueberry, because not everybody likes blueberries. Like I love blueberries.
My kids love blueberries.
Yeah, my kids love blueberries too. But not everybody likes blueberries, and I think the raspberry flavoring has just the right amount of tart and sweet that makes it appealing to.
I see.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong on what the reasoning was behind it. But
it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, they're wrong, but it makes sense.
They're definitely wrong. I would drink a blueberry drink.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I just thought about that. I've never seen a drink that's like, hey, this is blueberries.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
So, we did it again. We went off on a
visit our merchandise site where we're going to be selling blueberry drinks. Chris and Joe's blueberry drinks.
This is 90s Nerdstalgia blueberry drinks. Right. And we're going to have a really sweet Gushers style commercial because we don't want the old crummy ones like the...
Absolutely not.
So, now, since you spoiled your number one with Cookie Crisp, so
that's right.
I got to say, the Cookie Crisp was delicious.
Yeah.
Top notch. I think it was wonderful. I think that my number one is going to absolutely be your number one if you think about it. Because we already know you played this. I'm going to do very abstract. I'm going to not try to match up with Chris.
We'll see.
So, number one, for my number one snack after school, and you get off the school bus, right? You ate your turkey sandwich or your ham sandwich with cheese. You drank your Kool-Aid Burst. Okay. You had your Gushers. You had your Doritos. But there's something about when you got home at 3, got off the bus, you're still starving, right?
A little bit.
You're still starving. Mm-hmm. And you want something more than just, Doritos or Cookie Crisp. I would reach for a Hot Pocket.
A Hot Pocket,
Pocket. So while a Hot Pocket is while a Hot Pocket is not quite 90s, I think it was invented in the 80s. Hot Pockets were a absolute staple at my house.
Absolutely. That is the exact 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon meal for a kid who like is not going to cook. You're going to
So
microwave it.
and you're starving. So what do? You go, you grab your Hot Pocket out of the freezer, you pop it in the microwave, you throw 2 minutes because everything cooks at 2 minutes. You throw it in there, you bring it back out, and the first thing you do is you bite into it, and you do that weird thing where like
Right, and then
you're trying to eat
totally,
it, and you just burn the roof of your mouth.
Yep.
Gosh,
It's so good.
What a sweet feeling. You won't taste the rest of your Hot Pocket or anything for the rest of the week.
Right.
But man,
There was just something satisfying about having it because of the smell and the look of it. Like it filled you up. Were you ever going to actually enjoy the process of eating it? Not so much.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And you know, there was pizza rolls, which I love pizza rolls. There was pizza bagel bites. I love
Bagel Bites. I would say Bagel Bites above. Hot
Oh,
Pockets.
okay.
I love Bagel Bites.
and
man.
it's a close one too.
Because Bagel Bites is like, let's leave the top so it can blow off the steam.
I think my problem with Bagel Bites is by the time you got your Bagel Bites out of the microwave, there's zero toppings on it. Like everything has melted down,
Right.
and then remember you'd have to peel the Bagel Bite off of the thing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
a Hot Pocket. You know, now granted, if sometimes the microwave's a little bit temperature difference, you get your stuff spilling out of it.
Yeah.
But it was a go-to.
Right.
Hot Pockets were there. Afternoon snack. You're just throwing down on some Hot Pockets and just enjoying life. And you're full again. And you can make it another hour until you dinner time.
Dude, So, you know what? I'm going to mention what I intended to originally bring. There was something called Elio's Pizza. Do you know what Elio's Pizza is?
I don't know.
So for whatever reason, because I brought this up with a couple people that's what I was going to be bringing, but a few people said they didn't know what it was. Basically, Elio's Pizza is just microwavable rectangle pizza. You know, like the ones you would get in the cafeteria?
How do you spell that? Elio's.
Elio's Pizza.
Let's see. Okay, yeah.
It's just kind of like your standard, but that's what I would usually eat when I get home. Because you can
So maybe because I don't remember like Elio's specific brand. Maybe we should just go square pizza.
That might be a New Jersey thing.
Yeah, because I definitely had square pizza, which you know, again, 90s school square pizza was a thing, right?
Totally, yeah.
So, but or rectangle pizza,
Right. It's like the schools are like, what's the cheapest food we could possibly give these children?
And let's not put it in a slice. Let's put it on a rectangle so they feel like they're getting more.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, like you mentioned earlier, every single snack ever, when it comes to these kind of foods, are always pizza flavored.
Yeah.
They're easy to make.
Yep.
And kids are going to love them. Like, what kid do you know that doesn't love pizza? So, easy. But, you know, little known fact about your boy Chris Jones here is that I actually like the meatball version of Hot Pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, which is essentially the same
more
thing.
stuff that's in there.
Yeah. But you get those bigger meatballs. They're delicious.
100%. I mean, there's a lot of different flavors of Hot Pockets, I think. I don't think there's any Hot Pocket flavor I didn't like.
What about Philly steak and cheese? I like Philly steak and cheese. Again, that was maybe my tastes were getting a little more sophisticated at that point. But
I'm going to stop myself from talking about the city of Philadelphia because I don't want to lose several thousand of our podcast listeners and viewers. But sure, I love Philly cheesesteak. The teams from Philadelphia, maybe not so much.
All right, let's not get off topic too much here. So I do have a commercial to go along with this. Hot Pockets. Dude, I mean, look at these kids. So I feel like you and I have kind of ventured, and this is probably going to be how our podcasts go, but you'll see most of our stuff were like late, mid to late 90s, a lot of 95, a lot of 97s.
Right.
This is a 92 commercial.
Right. These kids look like they're just, crawling out of the gutters of the 1980s.
Yeah, right. So there's such a stark contrast between the early 90s and the mid to late 90s, because you're right. Yeah. The early 90s were essentially the 80s. Yeah. But I mean the reason I chose that commercial is everyone knows that song. Yep. Everyone knows that song. And you watch that commercial, and it's Home Alone. That you get Home Alone vibes.
Yeah.
Like everything feels Home Alone from that.
Right.
But yeah, Hot Pockets, man.
And shout out to you guys ever watched that Jim Gaffigan? You know Jim Gaffigan?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a whole Hot Pockets.
I don't know that. I've seen this.
Oh man, later. It's a pretty long one.
Yeah, we don't want to do that on here.
Audio and video listeners, don't stop watching now. But later, after, check out Jim Gaffigan, Hot Pockets. He has a great.
There you go.
Comedy.
So that was our top 5 afternoon snacks.
That's right. That's right.
I think we had a pretty in-depth list. Lists. So we're gonna put them up. Mine was Little Hugs, Gushers. Number 3 was Fruit Roll-Up / Fruit by the Foot. Number 2 was Dunkaroos, and last but not least, is Hot Pockets. What was yours?
I don't know how the graphics are going to go, but as you can see in this list right here, we've got how many is it? So when you're editing this,
just say them.
Doritos 3Ds, Planters PB Crisps, Fruit String Thing, Kool-Aid Bursts, and Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, so that's a pretty it's a pretty good list.
That's an awesome list.
I'll tell you what. I have one last snack that I want to share with you. We're going to go cut to a commercial real quick. You guys can enjoy that while I heat my snack up, and we'll be right back.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Creepy crawlers! They're squirmy and wormy and purple and green, the grossest little creatures that you've ever seen. Creepy crawlers! Build a monster mold with the colored plastic goop and make a creepy crawler from a yucky monster soup. They're yucky, squirmy, wormy, very scary, sometimes hairy, squiggly, wiggly, creepy crawly. Creepy crawlers! Gross out your sister, embarrass your dad. You can be a little creep without being bad.
Creepy Crawlers Workshop with plastic goof.
All right, what a great commercial.
That was awesome. That was such a good commercial, man.
Man, all of these commercials are meant for one thing, and that's just to take us back.
So good. So good.
So, with that being said, we went through our top 5 after-school snacks, and to wrap this up, I have one last thing that I want to share with you. And when I saw this, I said to myself, Chris, when you were a kid, this is one of those things that you always wanted. You always wanted it. And you saw the commercials and you're like, this is going to be so good. You get it home, you put it in the microwave, you pull it out, and you're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. This is not what I thought it's going to be. And after now warming it up, I am certain that this is going to be the exact same thing. But there's so much nostalgia surrounding it. So, without further ado,
I still don't know what we're talking about.
My last snack.
I didn't even see you making anything. Did you make food while we were doing this?
I made us a kid cuisine.
Oh, nice. Oh, no. At least your dog wasn't down there.
Right. So we have...
Oh, whoa.
Is that not... It's so hard to see.
It looks so unappealing, but I know that that's really satisfying.
So, as you can see in this, I've lost my sprinkles. Oh, wait, there they are. So, they probably melted in there. So, this kid cuisine is one of those things. You saw the commercials. You know, I feel like not lean cuisines. There was an adult version of it too that was really popular around this time. The Hungry Man cuisines, any of those were really popular. So they came out with a kid version of this. This specific one, and I feel like this was basically the only version that I can remember. Your staples, you've got chicken nuggets.
Wait, lean it up to the camera a little bit so they can see the glory of this.
Chicken nuggets. You've got corn, macaroni and cheese, and then to top it all off, you have a brownie. Now, the thing about this brownie, it is this...
Oh, is that a brownie? That I thought that was like...
I'm almost certain. So if you look at this, so there's definitely some macaroni that got cooked into the brownie. And that was the thing, is this stuff happened all the time. And not to mention, it probably tastes like plastic.
Is that thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
Look at this thing.
Don't spill it.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yum, yum.
But, no, so basically they're like, hey, kids, elementary school, you want to know what it's like to be in prison. This is what you're gonna get.
Try this chicken nugget, which, if we're honest, out of the things on this plate, the thing that looks the most appealing is the corn. It's got to be. The rest of it. I mean, the chicken. I guess the chicken is bad.
Yeah, nuggets are fine.
They're not.
It's all fine. I legitimately didn't know that was.
That's a brown. And there's this specific version of it. I don't know if it's because we had to get some things in between sections there, but I don't know if it's because it's sat here, but I don't know what other way to describe this than it just looks like.
Here's a question: how much of the plastic are we going to eat now that we?
And that's funny because I'm looking at it, and there's definitely plastic along the rim here. So who knows what's in there?
Legitimate question: like, how much plastic did we eat as kids? You know, like as kids, you don't care. You just kind of eat whatever. But like we're like microwaving a bunch of plastic into our foods. It's
right? Did you ever So we didn't do paper. This is awful. We didn't do paper plates, but we did foam plates. Like they were like styrofoam plates.
Yeah.
But I would cook my food.
Oh, not good.
In the microwave on that,
yeah.
And I remember the foam would be burnt.
Yeah.
And some of it would be stuck. I'd still eat it.
Oh wow. Yeah, that explains a lot. Okay?
So
are you okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna pour some sprinkles
Yeah. on
our bread. Maybe if it was hot, it would actually stick to it. But yeah, let's bon appetit this.
This is the opposite of. There are a lot of YouTube channels where you like watch people eating like really good food. This is the opposite.
So I don't know if you can see this, but the bottom of this, So as it's been sitting there steaming, and I'm assuming the moisture from it because it's all over the table. So there's nothing crispy about this nugget.
No,
but
no, not at all.
Cheers.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love it, but the funny thing about it is, I don't know if yours was like this, but mine, there was like there was like an outer shell, and there was a lot of air in the middle. It's like all of the chicken separated onto the sides, and I feel like there was a lot of air in the middle of it.
No, you made it fun.
I made
this is like McDonald's quality. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. It's just I thought it was going to be terrible.
Man, I should have brought the crackers with the little red stick, and we'd have
what are those called? Hold on, while you're talking, I got to figure that out.
But yeah, these aren't bad. I could, now granted, this right here, surprisingly, was $3. Yeah,
really?
$2.90 something for all of this. And surely that wasn't what it was. Inflation, obviously, but handy snacks. Handy snacks. Yeah.
No, but this is. Like for $3, I mean, this is a meal for a kid. Kids aren't going to finish this. Like, I don't know. Like that's crazy. $3 is really good.
So, let's see. I'm gonna try this mac and cheese. It looks creamy. It's okay.
I'm gonna skip that.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Man, that's like the theme of this episode, dude.
Yeah. So mac and cheese, it's flavorless.
Corn, pretty good. Could use some salt, but it's pretty good. Try it.
Let's see.
It's like standard corn, but it just could use some salt.
So we shop at Aldi, and that feels like Aldi corn.
Yeah, it's just sprinkle some corn so you don't think that you're realize that you're eating.
So I guess the highlight of this is going to be, it's got to be, this delicious brownie. So let's give that a shot and see what it tastes like. And you noticed that I let Joe.
I'll be honest; these are really good.
Oh, you doing it for a nugget? I thought you were going. I was actually letting you do the brownie first. Although I keep forgetting, there's got to be lactose in that, so I don't want you to die.
Oh, I'm not gonna die.
Okay.
Maybe. What am I looking at? Am I looking at this or this? Maybe.
Let's see. So.
Wait. When I do this, they can't hear me. Right.
It's better if you stay back. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give this a shot. So let's talk about the texture of this thing. All right. So it's actually better than I was expecting.
Right.
So
the top made it look questionable.
It's hard to see, but the top of this is like black. It looks like it almost burned. But when you open this up, it's not bad.
Right. It doesn't.
That's not bad.
It doesn't look terrible. The way that it cooked, and I say that.
I mean, it's pretty flavorless. It's okay. It doesn't taste like poop, which I thought it would, but it's just okay. I guess
there was a corn. There was a corn. There was a corn in mine.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're 7 or 10, this would be maybe not 10, but
they'd like all of it.
Yeah,
maybe not the corn. I like the corn.
There's sprinkles on my nuggets. Let's say, that's what it
It's just all part of the same thing.
So, anyways,
yeah.
That is, again, it's one of those things. I remember very vividly eating these and being like, yeah, it's okay. But it was a coolness factor. You had a kid cuisine, so.
Yeah, I think having this brownie with corn and macaroni and cheese embedded into it, definitely below what I would expect as kind of like your baseline. Okay, this is a good meal. However, nuggets fine.
Corn, okay,
decent.
So I want to say
you have corn in yours too.
Well, there was I took the piece of brownie that's got mac and cheese in it. Or mac and cheese. Oh yeah, perfect. That's much better.
Corn brownie.
So, anyways, if I had to rate this, I mean, the kid version of me would rate this a 5. The adult version of me rates this a 2, and that's just because the nuggets are edible. Outside of that,
it's like a solid 3.
Okay,
solid 3 or 4.
Kid cuisine, the box has changed a bit, but we still have our buddy, the little penguin. So, anyways.
That was good.
What a great show, man. I had a blast. We learned a lot about each other.
Yeah, I ate a lot of stuff that I regret already. I ate you're going to rewatch the episode like, this guy just ate 5 bowls of Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, my plan is to put it back together so that you guys can actually watch him eat. We'll see. Yeah, the box is
it's done.
Yeah, the box is essentially empty. But anyways, we had a blast. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, my name is Chris. This is Joe. This is the 90s Nerdstalgia Podcast, and thank you so much for joining us. If you would do us a big favor and share this. I'm not going to do the tagline because everybody knows.
Smash that like button and subscribe. And
yes.
Thank you to all the studio audience listeners out there.
We love you.
Thank you. We love you. Thank you for coming.
But yeah, please give us a follow on Facebook. Give us a follow on YouTube. And then, like I said, we're going to be hopping on some of the other podcast platforms. And hopefully we're going to grow this. Hopefully you guys like these topics. But again, Chris, this is Joe. This is the 90s Nerdstalgia Podcast. So please be kind and rewind.
I like it. Nice.
Excellent.
Nice. I'm gonna have another